Hello, this is Irma Baker. I'm welcoming you to our show. We're sponsored by RSVP, the Retired Senior Volunteer Program, which is a part of Mature Services. According to the dictionary, a kaleidoscope offers a constantly changing group of bright objects, and that's what we hope to achieve with these programs. We're highlighting interesting organizations, activities, and people in our viewing area. Well, after these messages, we'll be right back to meet our guest.
RSVP of Summit County has been making a difference in our community since 1972. RSVP volunteers are increasing the quality of life by participating in programs and organizations that provide important services to the community. RSVP matches personal interests and skills with opportunities to serve. If you're interested in adding more meaning to your life and improving the lives of others, please call 330-253-4597, extension 166.
Welcome back. Our guest today is Neil Thackaberry, and Neil is the Artistic Director of the Actors Summit. Neil, it's wonderful to have you with us today.
Thank
you. Glad to have you here.
Well, I'm delighted to be with you.
Well, tell us a little bit about the Actors Summit.
Well, Actors Summit was started in 1998. We did our first productions in 1999. And our mission statement has remained the same since we started, and that is to produce professional theater using Ohio artists. Mary Jo Alexander and myself, who started the theater, were really frustrated by the fact that the two large resident professional theaters, the Cleveland Playhouse and Great Lakes Theater Festival, at the time were both using almost no local actors. And we thought there was just something fundamentally wrong about an actor from Northeast Ohio needing to travel to New York to audition to be in a play in Cleveland. Didn't seem to make sense to us. So our mission became to make an artistic home for artists who live and raise their families and pay taxes here in Northeastern Ohio. And since that first production, which went up in April of 1999, we've mounted 97 major productions, and that doesn't include the occasional cabarets or children's shows or other activities that we've presented. So we have a very aggressive production schedule. We make use of members of Actors Equity, which is the professional union of actors and stage managers, as well as non-union professionals. At our operation, everybody gets paid. Nobody gets paid very much, but everybody gets paid. So we are one of the major opportunities for professional actors in the area. So we end up using the same frequently the same people that you would see appearing at either the Cleveland Playhouse or in the old days at Carousel Dinner Theater, which were both fully equity houses. We hope one day to be a fully equity house, and as we grow, that's our goal, is to become a place where we can have more union actors working. Well, you mentioned the Cleveland Playhouse,
yes.
And
Great Lakes Festival, and yourself as Actors Summit,
right,
as professional theaters. What does it really mean to be a professional theater?
Well, essentially it means that the performers get paid. Theater is about the performing artist. It's not about the director, it's not about the scene designer, it's not about the musical director, it's about the actor who takes his skill and talent and ego and sensibilities and puts it on stage for other people to enjoy and potentially to criticize, to make value judgments of. Directors are a relatively new thing in the history of theater. We got along for about 2,300 years without directors, at least as directors were called. So directors are relatively new on the scene, and our theater really strives to be about the actor. There are excellent, professionally managed theaters in the area. Weather Vane Community Playhouse, Canton Players Guild. There are and any number of Hudson Players, the Stowe Players. There are lots of community theater operations. What separates Weathervane and Canton Players Guild is that you have theater professionals providing the guidance, providing the direction, providing the scenery, and all of the support mechanisms. But the people who appear on stage are volunteers. They are people for whom theater is an avocation. The difference is that the people who appear on our stage regularly, this is their profession. This is what they do. Doesn't mean they don't have a day job to help support themselves and their family, but it means that this is what they aspire to do full time. And we have just an amazing talent pool available to us in northeastern Ohio. Just astonishingly talented people. So we have not had a problem finding the talent pool that we need. And we've also attempted to create a company of actors. The current show that we're producing right now, which is a murder, a mystery, and a marriage, of the folks who are on stage in that show, 2 of them have been with us since 1999. So to have that kind of, or actually 3 of the 8 have been with us since 1999. To have that kind of longevity, to have that kind of, it allows us to develop projects artistically, using a kind of shorthand that comes about as a result of simply having worked together on show after show after show. And we're really proud of that fact, that we have this core of actors who may work with us on 1 or 2 shows, go away, come back again. That kind of artistic home, a place to come back and do work that you respect and that is respected by the producing organization, is really important.
Well, you've mentioned that the Actors Summit is like a home for the actors. It is a resident theater. It is a community for the acting artists, and I notice that you refer to them as artists rather than necessarily as actors. But you're also very involved with the broader community.
Well, we only one of those truisms is that all politics is local. Well, we also believe that all theater is local. That one of the advantages of creating opportunities for artists to have a home, an artistic home, is the example that I frequently use is that of the Cleveland Orchestra, a world-class organization whose impact goes way beyond the fact that they produce concerts. Because here you have 100, 110 world-class musicians who make their home in Cleveland, whose kids go to school with the children of doctors and plumbers and lawyers. And you can't underestimate the importance of that to the cultural life of the community as a whole. It's not just the concert, it's the impact that artist living in the community has on everybody around them. Our company of actors seems to be highly prolific at the moment. We have one actress who is on stage right now who has an 8-week-old. One of the actresses who is going to be in the next show has a 1-year-old. One of the actresses we were going to use later in the season we can't use because she's expecting her second. We laughingly say that we're the only professional theater that actually has playpens and strollers at the theater for the use of our performers. But our focus has always been to create a family environment. And Mary Jo Alexander and myself, as a team, we're going to be celebrating our, God forbid, our 40th wedding anniversary. And one of the reasons that we started the theater was that both of our daughters are artists. And we wanted to create an opportunity for us to work with them. So my younger daughter, Sasha, is a first-rate choreographer and has performed with us as an actress. My older daughter, Connie, is our senior artistic associate. She has her Master's of Fine Arts from the Actors Studio in New York and is directing for us and also acts for us. And both of my sons-in-laws are equity actors and perform with us from time to time. So it's not only is there a family atmosphere at the theater, it is in a lot of ways a family operation. We have guest directors that come in as well, and we bring in other guest artists in other areas, musical directors, scene designers, in an effort to create that complete family of artists who can support each other and create something for the community. We're very concerned about bringing something new to the community. Of the 6 shows that we're doing on this year's season, 4 have never been seen in Ohio before. So we strive hard to not simply recycle things that have already been done. We've done a number of regional premieres, we've commissioned new works, and we're always looking for that new project that will excite our audiences, because we exist only to serve that audience.
Well, I noticed that on your website. I went there to look at what was going on with Actors Summit right now, and I was thrilled to see that you are producing, presenting, offering programs, plays, entertainments that really are entertaining, that you can go home and you can and feel that you've enjoyed it, that maybe you want to tell your neighbor about it.
Well, that's certainly our goal, and quite frankly, last year we had our most successful season ever in terms of attendance and ticket sales, in spite of the economy. And partially that was the result of our very intentionally planning that we would do a slightly more commercial season. Historically, our offerings have ranged from classic Greek tragedies like Oedipus Rex and Medea, through Shakespeare, Moliere, as well as contemporary pieces. This year, we're going to be doing a piece called The Ladies' Man, which dates from the late 19th, early 20th century, that fin de siècle period, based on works by Feydeau, French boulevard farceur. Very, very funny stuff, but still classic theater. And so the goal is to present a mix. One of the wonderful things about our season subscribers is that they expect us to keep mixing things up, that they expect us to not give them a steady diet. In some ways, that's one of the distinctions between our operation and, say, the operation that Carousel used to run, which Carousel did extremely well at what they had defined as their market. And it was essentially a repeating cycle of classic American musical theater. So it'd be Fiddler on the Roof, and then Sound of Music and Music Man, and those would all appear on an ongoing cycle, and that's not what we do. We try to bring in new works. Some of them we hope will be very funny, and the current show, which is a musical based on a short story by Mark Twain, is absolutely hysterical. I giggle every time I see it.
Well, speaking of new, you're in a new location.
We are. Well, we're in an old location. Old in 2 ways. Old because the building was built in 1917. I'm talking about Greystone Hall, which was originally the Masonic Temple in Akron. So it's an old building in the sense that it was built in 1917. It's also old to us because the first 4 productions we mounted in 1999 were in Greystone Hall, which when we did the first 3 shows, it was still the Masonic Temple, and we rented the space from the Masons. Between those first 3 shows and the 4th show, the building was sold by the Masons to a developer, Jeff O'Neill. And we tried to make it our permanent home in 1999, but we couldn't strike a deal that we felt we could live with financially and that the developer felt that he could live with. So we ended up taking a tour of empty buildings in Northeast Ohio as we looked for a new home. And we finally settled in a converted warehouse in Hudson, Ohio, and we've been there for the last 9 years. At the end of those 9 years, we needed to find a new home. The roof was leaking. The landlord didn't seem to think that this was a problem. We had a number of other problems. people getting rained on during performances among them.
Well, in Greystone, you really have a wonderful setup, because
it's-
you not only have the theater there, which, as I understand, is a very intimate theater.
It is. The space itself is quite large. It could handle up to about 650 people in a standard proscenium configuration. We have essentially taken the kind of theater that we want to work in and dropped it onto the main floor, so that it's a thrust theater. And by thrust, it means that the audience wraps around three sides of the stage, so the stage thrusts out into the audience. The furthest seat is in the 5th row. That's the kind of intimate relationship that we want to have between actor and audience. We don't want the actor way up there hidden behind a picture frame. We want the actor to be in the room, in the physical architectural space that the audience is in. One of the wonderful things about a thrust theater is that part of the scenery is watching the other part of the audience. Because as you watch the actor, on the far side of them, you see the other audience members observing what you're observing. And so while you're watching the actor, you're also seeing their reaction, which is what you had mentioned before. It's part of creating that community. For that hour and a half, 2 hours that it takes to perform the play, the folks in that room, actors and audience members, become a community. It's a much more organic kind of spacing. And as I say, we seat about 140 on the main floor. We do have the capability of expanding that slightly by using a few seats up in the balcony, although that's not our intention. And as one of my friends likes to remind me, I sometimes said I would rather do 10 performances for 100 people than one performance for 1,000 people.
Oh, it makes it such a more pleasurable experience if you can actually see and not be 100 yards away from the stage.
One of my subscribers said, "Yeah, we're so close enough we can see the actors sweat." I don't know if that's a good thing, but it emphasizes the fact that when you're only 5 rows away, you're sharing an experience with that person. When you're in the 12th row or the 14th row or the 38th row in a very large theater, my basic feeling is stay home and buy the album, because all of the sound is coming over that speaker, hitting you from above, and you can barely make out what's going on the stage. For large spectacles, if you're doing a huge musical with a cast of thousands, then great, you can see that overall pattern. But we tend to focus on not only a more intimate actor-audience relationship, but more intimate theater. The largest cast show I think we'll have this year has 10 people in it. We don't do big chorus numbers, partially because the stage is small, but also because that's not what it is that we want to work on. We don't have choruses. We have actors, all of whom have a very serious contribution to make to that experience. But
well, coming to Actor Summit, a performance at Actor Summit, now that you're in Greystone, someone coming to it can make an entire event of it, because you also have the option of dinner packages.
Well, this is one of the things we're experimenting with. Fortunately, we have just received tremendous support. The new facility has only been open for a week as we sit here taping this session. So it's only been open for a week. And one of the things that we've worked out with the master chef at the John S. Knight Center, who is also responsible for food services in our facility, is that, and this is an experiment at this point, for the first 2 weeks of each of the shows that we do, we're offering essentially dinner and a show, where you would enter the building, go to the 3rd floor, the garden room, have a lovely meal at a real table with real waiters bringing you fabulous food. And when you're finished, you would then get on the elevator and go up to the 6th floor to see a real play, where the person next to you is not spilling their coffee, and where the actors don't have to worry about somebody clinking their dessert fork. Actors in general hate dinner theater. And that's why we're not calling it dinner theater. It's called dinner and a show, because they're separate and hopefully high quality experiences in both cases. One of my actor friends says dinner theater means bad dinners and bad theater, which I don't know that that's true, but what we're trying to do is to create something new. Our hope is that as that idea grows and as more people become accustomed to it and find out how fabulous the food is, they will be able to expand the number of nights when we're able to offer that dinner, so that hopefully by next year all of our performances will have that dinner and a theater option.
Well, you're also experimenting with a Sunday buffet and matinee?
Well, the Sunday performance, we are not doing buffets. All of the meals that we're doing are sit-down, table service, excellent wait staff. The difference on the Sundays is that because we have a 2 o'clock matinee, which tend to be very fully subscribed, we're doing dinner after the show, because we don't want people to have to race from church to get there to eat a meal and then race down upstairs to the play. So in this case, we do the play at 2 o'clock, people go downstairs to the garden room and have a lovely meal at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And that seems to be working out very well. So we're excited about creating a new opportunity. There were an awful lot of people who really loved Carousel and loved the fact that they only had to park once, they could sit down and everything was taken care of. And that's what we're trying to recreate. We've had a number of former Carousel subscribers join us already, and I think as the word gets out, there's going to be more of that.
And you have the parking available too.
And it's all free, which is even better. But we've been very fortunate. As you know, or you may not know, the building itself is owned by the City of Akron. And the City of Akron has entered into a management contract with the John S. Knight Center. So the John S. Knight Center is responsible for programming, supervising, providing services in that facility. So the John S. Knight Center is making fabulous rooms, the ballroom and other rooms on the lower floors, available to people for weddings, for retirement parties, for church gatherings, serving fabulous food. And so it's really exciting because we share the building with those activities that change all the time. And then up on the 4th floor, we have the Downtown Akron Partnership offices, which they're just amazing people doing amazing work, making the whole downtown area of Akron so much more vital and pleasant and clean and safe. They're just amazing people. And so one of the nicest things about our new home is that we see people. When we were in Hudson, we were isolated in this kind of this metal warehouse with no windows. And now we actually get to see people on a
Which
daily
makes you more of the community.
Exactly, and which and our location couldn't be more ideal. We're right across the street from the Knight Center. We're kitty corner from the main branch of the Akron Summit Library. We're 1 block away from the Akron Art Museum.
Well, how do people find out about your programs?
Well, as you did, actorssummit.org is the one place that you can go to get virtually all of the information. You can order tickets online. The only thing we haven't figured out yet is how to do ordering dinner online. That you actually have to call in at the box office. There is obviously a phone number, and it's a new one different from the one we've had for the last 9 years, and that's 330, as one might expect. And then it's 374-7568, and that rings right at our offices in the beautiful Greystone building in downtown Akron.
And people can subscribe to an entire season, or they could also just come for a particular show.
Exactly. And in fact, we had 2 of our subscribers at the show last night who changed out their tickets because they needed their 2 seats that they already had, plus 5 more because they're bringing their grandchildren to A Christmas Carol, which is our next production, which goes into rehearsal 2 days from now. So we're all getting excited about that. But the subscribers are our core people. They're the ones who come out to see all of the new stuff and all of the old stuff and stay with us over the years. And they're really our core. And then we always love to have people coming for the first time, because those folks who come and see one show are our potential subscribers next season.
Well, Neil, it's been a pleasure having you with us. I'm certainly
Thank
looking
you.
forward to any and all of the performance that you're putting on, and we certainly enjoy the fact that you have come and viewed our show today and had a chance to meet Neil Thackerberry, who is the Artistic Director of the Actors Summit. We thank you for watching today's show through our kaleidoscope, and we hope you enjoyed it. We hope also that you'll remember our sponsor, RSVP, part of Mature Services. RSVP offers adults 55 and over volunteer opportunities right here in our local community. For more information about RSVP, call the number you see on the screen. This is Irma Baker saying goodbye for now. Thanks.
Since 1971, RSVP has been matching volunteers' talents to community needs. RSVP is affiliated with the Corporation for National and Community Service, a national organization that supports service and volunteering through grant-funded projects. Volunteers organize neighborhood watch programs, tutor children, renovate homes, plant community gardens, assist victims of natural disasters, and serve their communities in many other ways. RSVP offers maximum flexibility and choice to its volunteers as it matches the personal interests and skills of Americans 55 and older with opportunities to serve their communities. If you're interested in adding more meaning to your life and improving the lives of others, please call 330-253-4597, extension 166.
Distribution of this program has been made possible through the generous support of the Kaler Law Firm. At the Kaler Law Firm, attorney Jim Kaler helps seniors and veterans who need long-term care keep some of their life savings in the family. For more information, visit www.protectingseniors.com. The mission of the Kaler Law Firm is protecting a senior's life savings.